From the Ticats Audio Network, this is Ticats Today with Braden Neville.
On today's show, I catch up with receivers coach for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, Naaman Roosevelt, as we discuss getting to work with this core for next year. He also talks to me a little bit about his stories as a player when he was playing for the Saskatchewan Roughriders and when he played for his hometown Buffalo Bills. And we also discuss gearing up for next season. It's Wednesday, March the 6th, 2024, and this is Ticats Today. Happy Hump Day, everyone. We have a cool one for you today as we have the receivers coach, Naaman Roosevelt, a guy with multiple 1,000-yard receiving seasons in the CFL. Also a guy who is from Buffalo and got the chance to play with his hometown Buffalo Bills. And a lot of people around here are Bills fans. We all know that, as well as Ticats fans. So some cool stories from him. And he also spoke to me about gearing up for coaching as the receiving coach for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. All right, joining me now is the new receivers coach for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, Naaman Roosevelt. Coach, thanks for joining me on today's show, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Brandon. How you doing?
I'm doing good. It's good to have you on. It's a good opportunity to talk to you about some of these receivers we're going to have on this receiving core next season. And I want to get right into the first one, a big re-signing for the Ticats and Tim White. And what do you think about him and his game and getting to work with a guy who's been so successful these last few years?
I mean, I'm excited just watching the film. We have a lot of staff meetings, and been watching a lot of film from last year and the last couple of years. And I mean, he's been an exciting receiver. I mean, he's explosive. He's run great routes. So I'm excited to get with him and help him improve, keep improving, man. He's been getting better and better every year. So my job is to help him with that.
Is he a guy you've had any conversations with yet, or is he too busy doing his work that he's doing overseas right now to be talking to anybody?
Yeah, I just seen he's around. We communicate a little bit, but once he gets back, we'll start communicating more and get into this playbook and everything. But I see he's doing big things now, man, which is awesome for him for sure.
Yeah, big things, doing all that work with World Vision, and it's very one of those guys. I mean, a lot of guys are training, he's training, and he's helping out, so it's good to see him doing that. Another guy I want to talk to you about on this receiving core is Terry Godwin, close to 1,000 yards receiving last year, a guy who's had ton of experience playing football with Georgia and the NFL, and last year being his first full season in the CFL. But what do you see from him?
I mean, he's also an exciting, explosive receiver too. I mean, he gets off the ball well. He works releases really well. He runs great routes, man. Even last year with the big one-hand catch, that was was amazing. What I saw last year. So I mean, he's the type of guy also that's just explosive. And our job now is, man, we're trying to do with Coach Scott. We just want to get the ball in their hands and just let them make plays after that. So that's our job, is to figure out ways to get those guys the ball.
The one guy who's been kind of growing throughout his first couple years in the CFL is Keandre Smith, and last year he made more steps. Is that a guy you feel like can make even bigger strides heading into next year?
Oh, definitely. I mean, his first couple of years, he's been doing a good job, and I think, after those first, couple of years, I feel like the game start to slow down. You start to understand it a little bit more, understanding what defense are doing, and I think he's in a position now where I feel like the game is going to slow down for him. He's going to, figure out, what the defense is trying to do, and just to have a guy like that's also explosive, also a great route runner, to have him on the core, it just makes us even better. So I'm excited about his progression this year.
One final guy I want to mention on this receiving core, it's kind of a different one, is Thaddeus Moss coming in, a tight end, a guy who was impressive at LSU. But what is that? What can that bring, having that strong tight end presence on a CFL offense?
I think it's pretty big. I mean, we're probably one of the few teams that have a American, tight end. So it's pretty big. I know, we're all excited to have him. Just watching a little bit of film on him, he's one of those guys that, you just get the ball in his hands and he can make plays. So, we're excited to have him, excited to get him in camp and see what he can do. And, it's going to be we got a fun group, man. It's going to be good times, man, for real.
Coach, you had a pretty successful career yourself, multiple 1,000-yard receiving seasons. You played a lot of games in the NFL. You were very successful in each league you went to, but how much does that help, being able to have that experience and having those 1,000-yard receiving seasons in the CFL to teach these guys or to help bring something to add to these guys?
Yeah, for me, I just wanted to bring, throughout my career, it's just being consistent, coming to work every day, giving it my all. I used to tell, DBs I go against, like, man, you're going to have a long day. Even if it's practice, you're going to have a long day in practice. And that's what I'm trying to bring these guys that, every day is an opportunity to get better and better. I mean, you got to take advantage of every day. And I think, my work ethic and what I did, I think, I try to bring that to the guys. Is just we come out here every day just to work, get better. Don't take advantage of every opportunity you have, because you never know.
Coach, you're one of the younger guys on this coaching staff, and you're not too far removed from your playing days. Can you still get up there with the best of them? Do you think you can still catch a few jump balls or what?
I might be able to get a couple first downs, but that's it. I might be able to go out there on second down, and that's it. I don't know if I can jump over anybody, but I'll be out there with my cleats, running through drills and having fun with the guys during practices. So I definitely bring the energy for sure.
When did it first come about for you to join this coaching staff? And you were in Saskatchewan last year, but this is one of the biggest role you've had on a coaching staff so far. But when did that come about where Scott got a hold of you or Coach got a hold of you to join his staff?
Yeah, right around right after I think Christmas time. I talked to Coach Scotty. He reached out and we communicated back and forth and just set up an interview and I think the connection was very well during the interview. We had a great talk, had a great conversation, and I think he just felt my energy. The passion I have for the game. I mean, it did amazing things for me, and I just want to help guys achieve that goal. So I think for him, he just saw the energy I have and the passion I have for the game and just a love for the game. That's all I do is think about football and how can I be better as a person and as a coach. So that's my job.
You spent much of your career and coaching and as a player on the West Coast or the west side of Canada, playing in Saskatchewan for all those years and coaching in Saskatchewan. How does it feel to move your way east and join the Eastern Division here?
I'm excited. I mean, it won't get too cold, too early like it does on the West Coast. So that's also helpful. And also being from Buffalo, having that, connection with Luke Tasker, that's my guy. I used to train him with, during the off season every year when we played. In the CFL. So just having that connection, understanding, the passion Hamilton fans bring. I mean, that's always, you playing in Hamilton, that was always, the fans are going crazy right behind the bench, man.
Yeah.
So it's just something that you kind of understood and kind of felt on, being in Hamilton and being on the East Coast. So I'm excited to be a part of that.
And Luke Tasker being one of the voices now of the audio network, doing such an excellent job. Have you connected with him at all since he heard you were coming over to Hamilton?
Yeah, he texted me a couple weeks ago and told me he was excited and, told me how, great of an organization it was and, so many great people around the organization. So, I'm excited to get up there and get ready to go. And, it'd be fun to see him again. We haven't connected in about a year, so it'd be fun to, get to see him and chat it up.
Being from Buffalo, I guess the Hamilton Tiger Cats would have always been the closest team to you. A lot of Ticats fans or Bills fans. But what do you remember from growing up in Buffalo about the CFL? It must have been something that you'd known already, being so close.
Oh, yeah. We always watched it always was a couple games that they showed on TV. So I always knew. When I was younger, I always thought the game was just so fast. Like, you're like, oh, my God, you see receivers coming out of nowhere because of the waggle. So I always thought of the game was just being so fast. And, as a player, as playing it also, it's like it's a fast game. It's back and forth. And I think my first time playing in a preseason game, I mean, they was calling, punt team, get ready after first down. I'm like, hold on, what's going on? So just understanding how fast the game was. Even watching NFL games now, it's like, man, this is slow. They get a long time to relax, get back to the huddle, and how I love the CFL because of that. It's just it's explosive, league, and I think that was one thing I saw was just how fast it moves.
What was one of the words of advice you would have given to younger receivers back in the day when they were coming here from America to the Canadian game? What's the biggest adjustments that need to be made for a guy who's playing his first year in Canada at receiver?
I think the biggest is conditioning. Come up here, condition, condition and ready to run. I think it's a lot more running, a lot more one-on-ones you do up here, a lot more just because it's a receiver game. So a lot more conditioning, a lot more running, understanding the waggle. I think once you get to camp, you kind of understand it. You get a couple of weeks to kind of jump off sides a couple of times, but you learn to get it, eventually.
How long did it take you to get the waggle down? That's a tough one for some guys.
Yeah. It took about a week. I was off sides a couple of times my first couple of days of practice, but you get used to it after a while. After a couple of people screaming at you, you get used to it for sure.
Were they making you do push-ups when you were doing penalties back then in training camp?
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So were you costing the boys a few push-ups back in the day?
Yeah, for sure. That was still alive, for sure.
Besides from football, I want to get into you as a person, but where are you spending your off seasons? Are you in Buffalo?
Yep. So I'm back here in Buffalo.
Okay. So are you in Buffalo with your family?
Yep. So me and my fiance have a place out here in Buffalo.
Right on. Your fiance. So are you getting married soon?
Yeah, hopefully. We're trying to get it together. Yeah.
Right on. So typically you're spending the off seasons at Buffalo. When you were training with guys in Canada still, or were you training back at home?
So I was training back in Buffalo, but it's crazy because we had a couple guys. Remember Ernest Jackson that played out in Ottawa. I went to school with him at the University of Buffalo, so he was out here training with me. Luke Tasker, like I said, he was out here training with me. It's funny because a kid that's up there, Jake, that was in the quarterback that was in Saskatchewan.
Yeah,
he was coming out of college. We trained with him too, so it was always like a good CFL connection. Drew Willie, that was my quarterback in college. He also trained with us, so it was a good connection that we had up here in Buffalo. That a bunch of CFL guys were we was just getting it in, and it helped us a lot.
What did it mean for you to not only play college ball in Buffalo, but also play professional in Buffalo? That must have been pretty insane for you to wrap your head around that.
It was exciting. I mean, it was pretty crazy. My first couple of games, I was getting 30, 40 tickets, I mean? And you only get two free ones, so you paying for the rest. So it got kind of crazy for sure. But just being, playing with the hometown team, I mean, it was nothing like you're running outside of that, running in that tunnel when it was, and what was it? It was Ralph Wilson Stadium back then when I was playing. So just running in that tunnel and, having that experience and seeing those fans, it was amazing for sure.
Could you remember that first memory of hey, look at me, I'm playing pro ball for my hometown team right now? Is there a memory that sticks out to you back then?
Oh,
it wasn't that long ago. I mean, it's
crazy. It wasn't, but it wasn't. It feels like forever. I think going in there and seeing guys like Lee Evans was a guy younger growing up, just watching him play and being in the locker room with guys like that. It's like, wow, this is something. This is for real. You know what I mean? So seeing those guys in there, like I said, Lee Evans, who else was a guy? Fitzpatrick was there when I got there.
Fitzmagic for
sure.
What was he Jackson. Like?
Fitzmagic was cool, man. Fitz was cool, man. He was probably one of the best teammates I ever had.
Really?
Even one year during the strike, the NFL strike, he actually flew all the receivers, all the running backs. He flew them to his house in Arizona for the week just to train with them and play basketball and just hang out. So he was definitely cool.
I think the memory I remember most of him is when he's wearing all the chains with no shirt on at the press conference. That's one of the most legendary Fitzpatrick moments. Do you have any memories of playing on the road in Hamilton at Tim Hortons Field?
Oh, for sure. That's what I'm saying, man. I feel like every time we came, it was packed. It was fans going crazy. As soon as you come out the tunnel, fans screaming at you, calling you all type of names. And during the whole game, I'm talking about the whole game, they going crazy on you. It's crazy, but it was also fun because it was closer to Buffalo. So I would, get 10, 15 people come up, from Buffalo to come up to the game. And, I mean, it was exciting, especially to play against Tasker. I feel like I'm like, all right, Tasker scored a touchdown or something. I got to go make a big play. So it was always a competition between us two where it was my boy do it, I got to do something. So I always remember those games.
The numbers were amplified for you guys. I'll have to look back at some of those box scores. We'll see both you guys with over 100 yards receiving against each other. Coach, before we go, what's your goal for this group of receivers and this offense and ultimately this team heading into next year?
I think as an offense is to be explosive. I think, we're excited. We've been putting in a good game plan. Like I said, we've been meeting almost every day as an offensive staff of just trying to get stuff down and make that, get that communication, get that chemistry down. And, as a team, I think we're all excited. The whole coaching staff is excited, man. We've been, getting with each other, communicating with each other, very well. And I think that's the big thing is just communication, getting understanding for each other, getting to know each other. And I think it's big things, man. I feel like we can get to that Grey Cup and, and eventually, hopefully take it this year. So we got a great group of guys, on the team and on coaching staff and even, the front office. We got, great people. So, it's going to be exciting.
Well, it's an exciting time, ready to get this season started up. And Coach, I'll be excited to meet you at Tim Hortons Field whenever the time comes in the next couple months. So once again, receivers coach for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, Naaman Roosevelt. Thanks for joining me today, man.
No, thank you.